Once again, please double check your values there. For cash, you have 76,000, marketable securities, 110,000, accounts receivable, 230,000, inventories, 167,000, prepaid expenses, 42,000. Accounts payable, 350,000, mortgage payable, 900,000. Compute for quick ratio. Take note of what's involved for the computation of quick ratio. You are supposed to only have cash or cash and cash equivalents, marketable securities, and short-term receivables to where accounts receivable belongs. So what is the computational value for quick ratio?
Zero point 33, sir.
Huh? What's your value, Nathan? Let's check that. 0.33.
3328.
Nicole, what's your quick ratio value?
Wait, sir.
That's
1.99
1.99?
or
1.19. The answer is actually 1.19.
Oh,
Why? These are,
hindi
though I gave,
99, sir.
it's not 99. Though I gave a lot of account titles, the only ones which are involved are cash, marketable securities, accounts
yes.
receivable,
Yes.
and accounts payable.
Ay, yo.
Mortgage payable is a non-current liability.
Okay, 1.19.
Bakit
1.19.
1.99?
Let's, Nicole, 76,000, 1.19. 76,000 plus 110,000 plus 230,000 divided by 350,000. What's the value? Nathan, you included values which should not be included, no?
Yeah, the current liabilities.
Hello. Focus only on current liabilities. For you to be reminded what those current liabilities are, remember the notes in Fundamentals of ABM 1?
Yes.
The notes in Module 1, you can refer to that copy.
1.81, sir.
Huh?
Ah?
What did you add, Nicole? What did you add?
I joke. Cash.
76,000
Ano to?
plus 110,000
plus 230.
230,000 divided by 350,000.
110.
What value did you get there?
Ay, joke. Kaya pala, sir. Wait.
Why?
Iba yung napindot kong number, sir.
Wow.
Current. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1.19. Correct. What does 1.19 mean? Okay, how do we interpret the value? This is now quick assets versus current liabilities. That for every single peso value of a current liability, you should have enough quick or sufficient quick assets to cater or settle that current liability. Does the company
But
have
sir,
it? It does. For
Come again,
every
sir?
single peso value of a current liability, there should be a sufficient amount from your quick assets to immediately settle that current liability. Don't worry, this class is video recorded. If you wish to listen to the interpretation again, just play back that video. In a way, you are
Okay.
increasing the number of views in our video.
yes, sir. I'll
The
just
road to 1,000 views. Okay, let's proceed now to cash ratio. So obviously, for cash ratio, you will not include all other account titles, but just focus on cash and cash equivalents.
Mm.
Even if you have their accounts receivables, prepaid expenses, inventories, property, equipment, land, even if these other assets are there, even if you have so many current assets, do not include them for cash ratio, only has cash and cash equivalents. In some cases, marketable securities might have to be even included. But if there's none, so you have these three, or we can just put it there. Cash ratio will include cash, marketable securities, and cash equivalents divided by
Asan, sir?
current liabilities.
Ah,
Okay, let's start. Here are the values of the respective account titles.
ay kasama cash.
Cash, cash equivalents, and marketable securities. Okay, here's the value for cash. 10,000. Of course, we are on pesos, we are in pesos. Cash, 10,000. Cash equivalents, 20,000. Accounts receivable, 5,000. Inventory, 30,000.
30,000 there.
30, yes, 30,000. Property and equipment, 50,000.
50?
Accounts, yes, Nathan, 50. I didn't say 15, man. 50,000.
Yes, sir.
Accounts payable, 12,000. Short-term debt, 10,000. Long-term debt, 20,000. So compute for cash ratio.
Wait. Lagi.
Most of your exam class will happen to be like this. I'll give the name, you give the formula, or I'll give the formula, you'll give me the name. And then some other information might be
What's the cash ratio?
like an FYI, so how to name
Cash ratio?
assets, like
Yes.
how can we name assets in the formula hydro.
Ay, cash ratio na tayo, sir.
We are on cash ratio already, Nicole.
So this video module,
Don't tell me you computed for quick ratio.
Sir, mali yung kinocompute ko.
You're computing for quick
Yes,
ratio.
sir.
We are on cash ratio now.
but there might be an item that will
Compute for cash ratio. Cash ratio is
for an ionic compound.
Ano yung marketable security, no?
there's none.
Just clarifications.
Wait. What's my current name?
So drill right now helps you in naming organic, not organic, covalent compounds. So as with the only acids.
Cash ratio is already there. I told you already of the formula.
1.25.
Everyone has an infinite.
Oh, mali ata.
Everything is a perfect table. Once you forget how to name it, name is in the perfect table. And what is the name of the other?
So what's the value, Nicole, Nathan?
125, sir.
1.25.
25.
Nathan, what's your answer?
Mali. Sir.
What's that, sir?
Is it safe to say that
Nathan is trying to Google it.
Sir.
What are you looking for, Nathan?
Kanang kuan. What kind of liability?
Huh? Oh,
Sa kanang
current liability. You look at the formula. Current
I mean,
liability.
di ba? Which bill, the account title belongs to the current
so
liability.
use the remaining time to prepare for the next.
Wait, what is the definition of a current liability? What's the definition of a current asset? Just go back to that.
Oh, within 1 year.
Oh,
Thank you. First half, another half for your.
Nicole, your answer is 1 point.
That will be all for today. Bye bye. First half, another half.
25, sir.
But
Pero,
the answer is actually 1.36.
What's that, sir?
68.
Yeah,
Ay,
1.36.
1.36.
36.
1.36.
How did we get 1.36? You have
Ano yun?
10,000 plus 20,000. Of course, that yields obviously 30,000.
Ay, mali pala.
So you divide that with
Mali
the
pala
sum
yung
of
nilagay ko.
accounts payable, which is 12,000, and short-term debt, which is 10,000. So it's 30,000 divided by 22,000, yielding a value of 1.36. In the same
36.
way, you have cash and cash equivalents here placed beside current liabilities. So it goes back to the same level of interpretation that for every single peso of your value, single peso value of a current liability, we have enough cash and cash equivalents to settle the liability. The company has enough cash and cash equivalents to settle a single peso value of a current liability because it is at 1.36. But just like quick ratio, just like current ratio, if the value is lower than 1,
Is that good?
that's not good because the company cannot settle at least with that value, with that computational value, the company cannot settle at least a single peso worth of current liability. The goal is that each peso value of current liability can be settled by your current assets, that's for current ratio, by your quick assets, that's for quick ratio, and by your cash and cash equivalents, that's for cash ratio. The last ratio formula is for the operating cash flow ratio, involving cash flow from operations and current liabilities. Okay.
Cash.
Records in 2019 showed, okay, please take note of this. Records in 2019 showed that net cash flow from operations is 150,000. By the way, in what financial statement can we get the value for net cash flow from operations?
Statement of cash flow.
Correct. Statement of cash flows. Again, in the year 2019, records showed that net cash flow from operations is at 150,000. Current liabilities got valued at 120,000. Compute for operational cash flow ratio.
120,000, sir.
Yes.
125,000, sir.
Nicole, where did you get 125? Net cash flow operations, 150. Current liabilities,
Ratio
120.
Then, 120.
1.25, sir.
Okay, Nathan, what does 1.25 mean?
1.25.
Every value of current liability, 1 peso value of the current liability is the value of the cash flow from operations can be settled to the current liabilities. Is it?
You can look at it this way. Since that ratio is more than 1, the company generated sufficient cash from operations,
Okay.
cash that's needed to pay off its current or short-term liabilities.
Okay.
So,
The
again,
company generated
sufficient cash, more than enough cash from its
sufficient
operations
cash.
to pay off its short-term or current liabilities. Since the value, computational value is 1.25, if the value computed is lesser than 1, then that would tell you that the company generated less cash from operations that is needed to pay off its short-term liabilities. Ergo, there will be short-term problems and there's a need for more capital. Values higher than or greater than 0 are highly preferred by investors, creditors, and analysts, because this would mean that the company can really cover its short-term liabilities while at the same time still have left over for earnings. Anyway, again, if you wish to listen back to this interpretation, you can just play this video once more. So that concludes it.
Sa YouTube.
Yeah, I'll upload this and then I'll post this video in our Edmodo wall for business finance. The session that we even had last Tuesday was also video recorded, especially that we had examples given in that discussion. Questions? Index cards, don't forget. Index cards or formula cards. Okay. If there are no questions, that will be all for today. Goodbye.
What's the type of? I'm sorry.
Wait, let me check. Let me check the type of test in business finance. The types of tests in business finance are purely computational.
Oh my God.
Okay.
There are only 10 items though.
But the points, every item.
2 points per number.
Okay.
But you still have 1 hour.
So we have 20 points.
Yeah, but you still have 1 hour.
Oh, okay, sir. 1 hour.
Just let it be at 1 hour.
Kaya kayo.
Super.
1 and...
Super.
No solutions okay, no? Kaya na calculator,
Yeah,
katapat na.
No solution, sir?
Lang.
Calculator na lang.
You just have your calculator.
Wala.
Did you know what? Allow me to also give my reason of allowing you to use a formula card. Given the chance that you enjoy the opportunity of becoming a ratio analyst yourselves,
Yes.
you will not necessarily have to memorize a formula. In actual practice, there is already a system built for this purpose.
Yeah, practical. Yeah.
La.
Yes. Numbers will just be retrieved from an information system. Numbers will just be retrieved. And then these ratios will just come out. So practically speaking, you don't have to memorize this. However, if we go with a plan of letting you take the bookkeeping exam or what other exams TESTA could provide to ABM students, you might be required, you might have to oblige yourselves to memorize the formula.
Okay, sir.
At least they are already with you. If there are no questions, that'll be all for this afternoon. Goodbye, Nicole. Goodbye, Nathan.
Goodbye and thank you, sir.
Goodbye and thank you, Sir Sim.